us, and you'll be alright. She's gonna be great. I know once I get through.
Hello, my name is Allison Grimes. I'm from Columbus, Indiana. I'm a leader in the recovery community and a single mom of 2 young boys and a proud member of Leisure Action. My renting experience started when I was 19. Since then, I have lived in so many different places and had many different experiences, renting as a family living paycheck to paycheck. I've lived in places with uninhabitable conditions, rotting floors, bugs and mice coming from the other units, broken furnaces, and shady landlords who would only answer the phone if the rent was late. I've had the heat shut off in the middle of winter with 2 kids because my baseboard heaters cost more to use than my rent. Because I have a conviction for possession of narcotic in 2015, I was unable to get any support or assistance for myself or my children. Instead, I received stigma and shame. During those years, I went through losing relationships with my family, homelessness on multiple occasions, and losing custody of my children because I couldn't provide for them. Today, I have nearly 3 years of continuous sobriety. In 2019, I was arrested for possession of narcotics again. However, this time I was lucky enough to be accepted into the Bartholomew County Adult Drug Recovery Court. I was successful and was in one of their very first graduating classes, and those charges were dropped. However, everything I've done to turn my life around, my past still haunts me. I've humbled myself and asked for help, but it's really hard to get because I have past evictions. I can't rent from apartment complexes, which includes the income-based housing. Currently, I have a small home in a safe neighborhood. My landlord's great. The home is small but in excellent condition. However, my rent and utilities are more than 50% of my income. If it hadn't been for the pandemic stimulus checks and unemployment, I wouldn't have been able to keep up with the rent and save enough for a deposit and first month's rent to move into where I am now. I still had to work hard to convince them to give me a chance. Because my background with a felony and 3 evictions, they finally agreed to a month-to-month lease to protect themselves, which means they can give me 30 days notice to move out without needing to file for an eviction. I'm still struggling. This month's rent is coming up, and business at the restaurant where I'm a server has been slower than usual. I applied for the Indiana Emergency Rental Assistance when I had COVID back in October. I still haven't heard anything from them. When I call to ask about the status, my messages are never returned. I feel frustrated, powerless, unimportant, and frightened for the future. I turn to places for assistance, but I'm met with long waits and difficult processes just to be denied because I make too much money, but not enough to support my family. It's humbling enough to ask for help, but it's even more frustrating with the agencies that exist to help treat you like an annoyance. It makes you feel shameful and invisible. No matter who you are, what your background is, all of us deserve a safe, stable roof over our heads. People in recovery are taken advantage of because they know we don't have any other options. We can't get public housing. The only chance we have is to find a private landlord who's willing to take a chance. And if you can't find a stable place to live, you may find yourself returning to places and people that put you at risk just so you can get shelter. Not being able to find safe, stable housing perpetuates the cycle of addiction. I just lost another friend 2 days ago to overdose. We can't turn a blind eye to the overdose and housing crisis. They aren't going to go away unless we take action. Shelter and food are basic human rights. We need more protection for renters and more pathways to safe,